Have you ever wondered how to get your kids to eat more vegetables? I'm always shocked at how much my kids chow down on salads and other greens when Chef Andrew Johnson is around.
They're empowered by food. One of my fondest memories is seeing these children, and I have them harvest a carrot, and they see this thing, and they're like, this light bulb goes on, right? And they're like, you can just see it. They're like, oh, look! And it's like covered in dirt. And you know, it's that moment that they're completely engaged in food.
He's on a mission to change school lunch. He's not content with just feeding people though. He wants to teach them about where their food comes from and how it impacts our health and the planet. Getting kids to eat more veggies shouldn't be a battle. We'll talk about getting them involved, keeping them engaged, and making it fun and tasty along the way.
And that's the one.
Yeah.
It's not fruit. All kids really love fruit. It's not pasta or rice or not even animal proteins or meats. It's vegetables. Kids being engaged in the process is completely required. Like, get them exposed to as many things early. The shopping part, the harvesting, getting them cooking the food, looking at recipes and deciding what to make. Yeah. Kids can get in the kitchen and they can be involved. Their kids are intelligent and, they just need to be supervised in a way.
Yeah. They're like getting their hands in there. It's magic. I think it's magic.
It's completely magic, and they see it and they know it, and they want to know what it tastes like, and they want to like it. And even if it's something that they're not quite sure about, they come around to it.
So I love a deep dive into look at the research, and this is absolutely evidence-based. A study from Vanderhorst and colleagues set out to explore if kids participating in meal prep could boost their veggie consumption, and here's how it went down. Kids were split into two groups. In the first group, kids teamed up with their parents to whip up a meal, and the second group let the parents handle the cooking solo. The results, when the kids got their hands dirty in the kitchen, they ate significantly more salad, a whopping 76.1% more, compared to when the parents did all the work.
So if they want to get in the kitchen, give them that space to do it. Make the space. Maybe it's not on a weeknight. Plan a time when there's not a lot going on that you can dedicate to teaching some knife skills, getting that that claw hand and working with the knife. So get them involved and do it in a way that you're not rushing around and give a little time to it.
What do you think inspired your interest in healthy meals or like sustainable cooking?
I've been diabetic for 33 years and 36 years, and I've always tried to be a model of healthy eating and cooking for myself and eating things that are going to make me feel good as a diabetic. And it was that. And then my stepfather was diabetic, my father was diabetic, my uncle was diabetic. So there's a long history. And I started to cook for my family. I was trying to be the person that would drive the family towards healthy eating habits.
I think a lot of families deal with a similar thing. What kind of strategies or how do you think about kind of getting people inspired or getting people involved?
You got to start somewhere. You have to start introduce, so ways that are palatable and then get to a place where you're really making changes. I listen to the kids every day about what they like and what they don't like, and I still incorporate fresh vegetables into every meal, but giving them something that at the end of the day they're super happy about and they feel, they're nourished and their learning environment is optimal and they're getting everything they need from the food that we're serving them is really important to me.
Introducing healthy foods and veggies in particular over time is so key. There's a systematic review and meta-analysis, Meine Kitzing, looking at a bunch of interventions and articles involving over 4,000 kids. They looked at 9 different strategies. The big winner is exactly what you're talking about. It's repeated taste exposure over time. Kids ate more veggies the more they were exposed to them, and the magic number seems to be at least about 8 to 10 tries. And interestingly, the veggies that they didn't like or weren't familiar with saw the biggest jump in intake. So what's the takeaway here? If we want kids to eat their greens, we need to keep serving them up, especially those veggies that they turn their noses up at. And simple, repeated taste exposure can be a game changer.
You mentioned the farm, and I know you love to grow food as well. When did that start, where you noticed like you like to grow?
When I was 5, my dad had a garden. We grew corn and tomatoes and melons. My dad grew a 13-pound cantaloupe. And it was freaking delicious. It was not weird. It was the perfect cantaloupe.
Nice.
And we took it to my summer camp, and it fed the entire summer camp. That was the exact moment that I realized being connected to the soil and growing your own food tastes so much better, had so much more nutritional value, and it just, when you eat at the height of season and you know how you're supposed to do it and like what our ancestors have been doing forever, it's really important in the process.
Yeah, I agree. You know, there's something about knowing where your food came from and also sharing, like you brought it with you to share with others. I think of food a lot in terms of community and sharing love, and I'm curious if you could speak to that and what that means to you.
Food is my love language. I mean, I'm very much pleased when people appreciate the things that I'm making. And it's what I love to do best. It's brought me to where I am.
How do you teach kids to be connected and to be curious about where their food comes from?
The easiest way and the most simplest way and the cheapest way is to get their hands in the soil. Like grow beans, grow like snap peas or herbs or lettuce. Like just have a little thing in the window in the kitchen if you don't have space in your yard for a garden. Just get them in the soil and then start the conversation about, you know, our food system, the way we're eating. And as they get more involved, as simply as like, okay, they could see it start growing. They could see, you know, put it in the light and they need to watch. Like it's that little process that starts to build this good steward. Yeah. You want to build these little good stewards that will, you know, solve our planet's issues.
There's this meta-analysis I dug up, pun intended, from Lengeletto and their colleagues, and they were looking at if garden-based education programs could boost our kids' nutrition knowledge, preferences, and consumption of fruits and veggies. And it turns out that gardening does the trick for getting kids to eat more veggies, even when compared to regular nutrition education. They gave 2 possible reasons for this. One is that gardening gives kids more access to veggies, and then the other is that it makes them less hesitant to try new foods if they were involved in the growing process.
Just get out and be a part of the programming that these farms are doing, local farmers markets, and talk to the farmers, talk to the people that are growing the food, and you'll catch some of that contagious nature. Like they're just as weird and fun as I think I am, you know, like we're all kind of kooky and just like really, you know, are stoked on doing the things that we're doing. Change the way these kids feel about food, and I try to every day. And I'm excited about it, and I think that energy kind of comes through, and they're like, you know, smashing herbs with a rock because there's no power at the farm, or like, you know, doing fermentation and seeing the SCOBY on the top, you get all freaky, weird, and blue, and like it's you know, it's science, and they're you know, so I try to stay in the moment with them.
We talked so far, you know, about getting kids exposed to veggies over time and getting them involved in the kitchen, getting their hands in the soil. But another strategy is what's called associative conditioning, which doesn't sound as fun, but it is. It's pairing a new or not so excited about veggie with a flavor that they already like, or associating it with a good time with positive, fun, or rewarding outcomes. And a paper from Wadhira suggested that this works especially well for older kids, helping them form a positive connection with veggies, making them more likely to accept and enjoy them over time. And the goal is to turn them into beloved snacks through a bit of clever pairing and fun.
I did a lemonade, and and I took bull's blood beets and I chopped them up. And all the kids, there's this couple kids, are like, I hate beets. I absolutely hate beets. And I'm not a big fan of beets until later in life. It tastes like soil. And so we do this thing. You dunk the beets into the lemonade. It immediately flushes fuchsia. And you make this pink lemonade.
Nice.
So you're getting the benefit from the beets and this beautiful color. And then by the end, they're getting it. And your slow introduction into liking beets. And the kids that were like, I hate beets. They're like, I love beets. And then it's like, that was the moment.
Yeah.
Things like that.
That's magic.
Doing magic.
Doing magic,
Doing
for
magic
sure.
with food.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And if you think about, changing a little bit at a time,
Yeah.
we can make an impact. It's never too late to start doing this. It's never too late to start eating healthy. And life is a journey, and it's not a destination. It's very cliche, but that's always the thing. Like, get out in the sun, get in the ocean, eat a vegetable more than you have the day before, and it's all we can ask as humans, right?
Here's the real deal. Let me ask my kids. What about you? What's your favorite veg?
Raisins.
That's not a vegetable.
Yeah. Broccoli.
The vegetable that you used to not like and now you like it.
I used to not like carrots that much, and now I do like carrots.
Why?
For what?
Why do you like them now?
Well, I picked it in the garden.
Wow, spot on. Could have paid him to say that. Now, I'd absolutely love to hear from you. Think back to your own childhood. What's one veggie that you absolutely hated but now can't get enough of as an adult? For me, it was Brussels sprouts. They were the enemy. But now I roast them with a little balsamic glaze. Simple and delicious. Until next time, keep your taste buds curious and your veggie plates full. And let's continue to nurture a love for healthy eating in the next generation. Catch you later.